This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Of My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina, and I'm just so excited that we've figured out this recording thing.
Oh, yeah.
What, 3 years then?
Yeah,
perfect.
Pretty much.
It's been a saga. truly has been. But we've got it all. We're all profesh now.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. Please don't do this, but if you go back and listen to our very first episode,
oh my Lord.
And now it's like
Worlds.
I know.
Worlds.
I almost want to like bury them behind a paywall.
Truly, I've thought about it. I'm
Right.
like, we could just, that can be for our patrons. They can listen to our shame,
You're like,
our secret.
I'm sorry. They were in on the inside
Ground
before
floor.
we got big.
floor.
You know? They knew us when.
They knew us way back when.
When our sound was awful.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow. I mean, the first episode we literally recorded in like a big open room.
Right.
With like Yeti microphones.
Yeah.
So
In like someone's dining room.
yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
those
man.
precious babies. Look at them now.
look at us now.
Shout out to YouTube and the many
Yes.
videos that I
Yep.
And our amazing friends who have
Yes.
incredible
Oh, God.
backgrounds.
Yes.
Not least of all your boyfriend Eric, who has
Yeah.
helped out. Our great friend Scotty, who's
Yeah, Scotty.
no big deal, editor.
Yeah.
For-
Editor,
for-
film
and
editor,
Dollface
Michael.
And
Michael Scotty. Yeah.
TV editor,
And,
no big
and
deal.
Thomas, our sound
Sound guy.
engineer. So
Yeah.
many people.
Yeah.
Thomas picked up the phone on the weekend, on the day his sister was getting married.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I didn't even know
last
this.
Saturday.
Last
You're
Saturday.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
a sweet,
bless his
precious
heart.
baby angel. I
God.
love him so much.
But we're here now. We're here now. Okay. Okay. I have to tell you guys this story because you know me. I am about the tea. So I was at. We were going to a friend's show last night, and my friend Bonnie and Anthony and I, and we were at a restaurant and we're talking. I don't know how we got on the subject of like animals or whatever, but she was talking about like her friend who doesn't like dogs, and I was like, "What?"
No.
Red flag.
And she's like, well, to be fair, like this dog has like a lot of problems, and it wasn't her dog, it's her husband's ex's dog that got kind of like pawned off on them, like got like she basically like abandoned the dog with them.
She's projecting.
Time out, right? So time out. She doesn't not like dogs. She doesn't like this dog.
Yes. I mean, and this dog does have issues. It's not just like she doesn't like it because it was her, like, you know, I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, it doesn't help the sitch.
But when you hear about what the ex is like, you're like, oh, that's probably why the dog is like this. So
You gotta love them better. That's what you gotta do.
yeah. So
This
what
is me.
happened?
That's always my answer for pets. You just gotta love them better.
Yeah. So what happened was her husband's ex, like they broke up, right? And it was the ex's dog. So she kept the dog for, you know, the majority of the time, but they had a good enough relationship, and he had a relationship with the dog that like if she was going out of town or whatever, he would dog sit for her or whatever.
Okay.
So then it turned out that like she was going to move to Italy. She was moving to Italy, and he
so
was
jealous.
like he was like, so like, have you made arrangements for the dog? And she was like, I need to make arrangements. Like I can't just take the dog. And they're
Oh,
like, no,
Yeah.
you can't just take the dog.
Wow.
yeah.
So she was like, okay, well, I'm getting ready to leave. She's moving to Italy because her boyfriend moved to Italy, and she was going to go move to be with him.
Time out. I have
There are
questions.
so
Yeah.
many things
Time
on my
out.
mind
Proceed. Yeah.
Why isn't this my life?
that you're like,
that I have a boyfriend who's just like moved to Italy, and you're like, you have to move to Italy. I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay.
shoot.
Darn.
well,
But also, like, if when it might just be me, but I kind of feel like you guys are like that too. If you're heading into like a very important life change, because your pets are part of your family,
That's
they
right.
factor into
They
your
would've been
planning
priority, yes.
process. And so I'd be searching like, first of all, it freaks me out what they do to dogs on planes anyways.
Yes.
It
I can't
absolutely. I
imagine.
can't imagine putting one of my dogs.
underneath with like in storage or whatever. Oh no.
I get it. People move and lives change and stuff like that, and you got to do what you got to do, but it just seems terrifying for me. So I would spend an inordinate amount of time looking at different options for a member of my family to travel like halfway across the world.
Yeah. Tranquilizers,
so I'm
whatever
already,
you need.
I don't like that this person saved this shit to last minute.
No.
As someone that has dealt with State Department last minute, it ain't fun.
Clearly an irresponsible individual, right? Like already you're like, okay, this person doesn't really think ahead very well. So they were like, okay, well, you're getting ready to leave. We will just hold on to the dog until you get settled and you can make arrangements, right?
That's your dog now.
Yeah.
And that is what happened.
Yeah.
But that's not even the best. Like she buried the lead, as I did just now. So she gets to Italy and the guy did not know she was coming.
Oh my.
She moved to Italy, got rid of her shit, her apartment, moved to Italy to be with a man who did not know she was coming. And they'd only been dating like 3 months or something before he left.
Oh, no.
I was like, tell me everything. And she's like, well, I don't really know much more than that, except for that he was like, immediately no, like ended things with her. Oh. And like,
he's like, I'm married.
He's like, no. He ended things with her. Now she's in Italy with like all her shit.
What?
So she had to go to, she had a sister who lived, and
this is why it's not my life. I cannot.
No, the stress. She had a sister who lived in France. So she went to France, and as far as we know, that's where she is. Like, wow. And I was like, I'm so sorry. You
sweating.
need to recontact this person because I need to know every detail. What was that conversation like?
No, listen, I just finished the Tinder Swindler, so I'm like, I'm hot for those like text exchanges.
Yes.
You know?
I need to know.
He probably was like just in passing, like, oh man, I really do wish you were here. And she was like, yep, all right,
ticket purchased immediately.
One way.
Yeah. Can you?
No.
Can you imagine? I'm
sweating thinking about
it.
Are you kidding?
What was she just raised on rom-coms to such a degree that she thought that this was like a grand act, like a romantic gesture?
Never.
No, me neither.
No.
My anxiety? Oof.
No. And then she was like, well, that's fine. I'll just head to the airport and he's going to run after me.
Oh, whoa.
And that,
that's not how this works.
And it's so unfair on that person because he's like, I mean, I would feel the pressure to be like, well, you have nowhere to go. I guess stay with me until you figure your shit out. But I think that's what she was counting on.
Oh my God.
Didn't.
No, he was like double deuces.
He's like,
later
absolutely
days.
Yeah. This is not what, no. This is.
Well, I mean, okay. So you're talking to a guy and you're like, okay, I'm going to move to Italy, but you can't just do that. You know what I mean? You need like work visas.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sweating. I'm like,
literally sweating
so
right
much beyond the dog that you did not prepare for.
No.
And I'm like, maybe that's me. I sometimes wish that I had a little bit more of that like
carefree spirit.
Carefree, like, fuck it, I'll figure it out kind of thing. Because I've gone through some shit and I have figured it out, but holy crap,
in
man.
some ways I tend to be that way. Like there is that part of me that is like, when I'm capable, when I'm able to move to California, I'm just gonna move to California, right? Like, which the whole idea was like, once my son graduated. So my son graduated on a Friday. We'd already had our moving truck and left on Saturday. So, and none of us had jobs. I mean, like we had our apartment and we did the it's the bare minimum. But
I do think 9 times out of 10 you're gonna land on your feet, right? Like I could see myself impulse being like, you know what, I'm buying a ticket to fucking Ireland and I'm traveling there and I'll figure it out when I get there. Like I could see myself doing something like that.
Yeah.
I can't see myself completely uprooting my life, quitting my job, getting rid of my apartment, like
leaving your cats behind
and just going to someone who doesn't know you're going there. And I said the same thing because I was like, okay, presuming she even got a visa to go to Italy, like you need a different one if you're living in France. So like what?
Yeah.
How? What?
I'm pretty sure there's just a lot of like shoulder shrugging going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
So,
I didn't know.
Imagine that sister. Like the sister answers the door and it's like,
I have a feeling she is the oldest sister, the one in France, who's just like, I'll
Jenny's
take care of
done
this.
it again. Yeah,
She's like always having to clean up Jenny's shit.
Here we go again.
Oh my goodness. What else is going on?
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck
I
on
know.
a whole
Listen.
ass fucking move to fucking
Europe.
Jesus. Just wow. I also though I'm like
we've all had the female urge to uproot our lives and move to Europe. We all have.
exactly.
I definitely, it's probably a good once a year. I think about like that up and left kind of thing.
Yeah.
Up and left.
And especially when I used to work my old job that I hated and I wasn't dating anybody, I was like, I wonder how long it would be till anyone noticed I was gone.
Oh Jesus.
Just like
It'd be so quick.
up and left.
Haven't
We'd be
we
like,
all had
"Where's
that
Christina?"
thought? Haven't we all had that thought? Like I have definitely. That like you're like I could commit suicide, just kill off my current self and start afresh with a different name somewhere else where no one knows me, and I can be that like interesting, mysterious person.
Yeah.
I know.
But I talk too much to ever be that person.
Oh,
so.
exactly. What would you change your name to?
Oh God,
Calliope.
Ooh. Definitely something like Greek,
Like real mysterious.
When I was little, I told my parents I wouldn't respond to anything except for sunshine, which
Oh,
is,
wow.
if you know me,
Bless
like,
your heart. That's not you.
where did that spirit go? Because that got killed off early. But Sunshine was my name, and I had a imaginary friend named Eagle.
Well,
Wow. That's some
Eagle.
real grew up in Ohio history shit
some
you got going on there.
celebrity is going to hear this podcast and name their child Eagle. I can't believe it hasn't happened
Oh my
yet.
God. Wait
I
a second.
can't believe it
You
hasn't
guys,
happened yet.
I actually just thought that re-triggered. I just had a memory come to surface with that. And that is that in Ohio, I don't know if you guys did this, Christina, but we used to do we had Pioneer Days and we did all kinds of things. Like we'd go out and we'd like make candles out of very, very quaint shit.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we did in my elementary school is that, I went to powwows all the time anyway, because my mom that I grew up with is Cherokee, an 8th Cherokee. And so we used to go powwows, all kinds of stuff. That's a very Ohio thing to do at the time. But one of the things that we did in school was we all went to this thing, and it wasn't a Pioneers Day, but it was like something to do with like the American Indian or Native indigenous thing. And we all got American Indian names.
Oof.
Oh, no.
Ay.
Awful.
Ay.
I like literally that just Sunshine made me think of that. I'm like, was that something that you did? Elementary school, I remember all of us getting like some kind of like.
I'm sorry, it's not your 8th grade French class. You can't
No!
just like.
Oh my God, 8th grade French.
Which was also something where you got to pick a French name.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't even remember mine.
Oh, I do.
Oh God.
Jacqueline.
Oh, Jacqueline.
Mine was Christine. Which
Oh, well.
my teacher picked ours out. So I was
rude.
like, oh.
That's very rude.
That's
I'm like,
rude.
I have one opportunity in the 8th grade to be a different person, and
Right.
you're going to give me the same name.
Yeah,
pretty
the
much.
same name.
Yeah.
I got to pick mine, but I cannot remember. I just remember that my cousin's was Claude. Because she did Claude because it was like it sounded this unisex name.
Yes.
Yeah.
I chose that because I'm like, Jackie.
Jackie.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
I took French because there's this girl, and Thomas, you can bleep out her name. Her older brother was in our French class, and he was smoking
Not
hot.
Oh man.
Smoking hot. So I got to take
I'm
French
in
with,
French.
yeah.
Is he still hot?
You
I
know,
always want to know.
I know.
You know?
I'm going to look on our break. We'll take a look at I won't put him on blast here on the podcast, but we'll take a look, see if he's still hot.
Yeah, I mean, because most of the guys that I thought were hot in high school,
God.
they are
No.
not hot anymore.
No.
And wow,
No fine
Yeah.
wines in my group either.
Yeah,
None.
right. Like,
Not a one.
what a bummer
I'm like,
for
ooh.
them. I
Dodged-
mean, I'm doing great.
Oh, I'm fine. Dodged a bullet. Can
Um,
you imagine?
That guy that I was writing like those porn stories about in 7th grade, dude, he is hit now.
Dude.
Absolutely. I'm like, woohoo.
One of the guys that I was like had a total crush on when I was younger, like was like we were on. It was like a group. Somebody was talking. It turned into very QAnon shit, and I was like, I can't believe I had a crush on you in high school.
Oh yeah.
I literally wrote that.
That's a whole different
I was
thing.
like, no. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm embarrassed.
Like we are physically or spiritually worlds apart. Every single person that I had a crush on in middle school and high school.
Imagine the gall of a bunch of white ass kids being like, "My new name's Eagle."
Sounds about white.
The cackling happening in this room right now. It's amazing.
my
Dude,
gosh.
I can't believe that we were just like, I can't believe my mom was like,
This
wasn't
is
like,
fine.
excuse me, what?
Yeah,
like,
this
what
is
are you
fine.
guys doing?
It was a time.
It's
was-
time. It's the time. Now you
Okay.
brought something that I'm very excited to talk about. I've been
I've
thinking
given
about it
this
all
thought.
morning.
Yes, I've given this some thought actually, because Cassie did text this to us a few days ago. So,
Yeah.
yes.
I've got it.
On Twitter, at Sarah Polton wrote, "What restaurant would be the worst to propose to someone at?" She then writes, "One time, I said that Applebee's would be the worst place for a date to take me, and my coworker looked me dead in the eye and told me that's where her husband proposed. I asked her if he got down on one knee after the spinach dip, and she dead serious said yes."
Wow.
Listen.
Love is
We're
love.
not love is love. I'm not trying to come at this from a classist place. I wouldn't want to be proposed to in a restaurant. Period.
Doesn't
no
matter.
matter
Same.
if it's like Michelin star or whatever.
It's
not my
about
vibe.
it's not about
No.
class. It's like you could literally propose like on a hill on a picnic.
Yes.
Like in the park, and it would be better.
And I celebrate. You know what? If you're happy about your Applebee's proposal, like
Great.
no shade.
Yeah.
I have an answer to this though.
Okay.
Me too.
So all through college, I had to work at this place, and I believe it's a chain restaurant. It's Damon's, a place for ribs.
Yes. Damon's. Oh my God.
Sticky barbecue
Ribs.
So I just imagine everyone getting like a half rack of fucking ribs. Trying to put the ring on it's got like barbecue sauce and shit on it. And I was like, dude, totally Damon's a place for ribs. That's my answer.
Lord.
Wow.
Okay.
Or like a Texas Roadhouse situation where there's peanuts
on the
shit
floor.
Just shit everywhere. How do you kneel down?
Oh.
And the tables are like up on a lift, so you're kneeling down to like somebody's butt crack. Like, you're so far down.
Okay, well, that might be a better answer, Texas Roadhouse, than what I was going to say, because
I didn't
listen.
pick one yet. I have one in mind.
Okay,
Okay.
if you've never been to a Cracker Barrel, the food
Love that hash
hits.
brown casserole.
The food hits, right? However,
And you're playing games.
You're playing
You got
games.
checkers going on.
There's a good apple
There's a
dumpling
fireplace.
situation.
The vibe is grandma.
The
Yeah.
The
vibe
vibe is grandma's
the vibe.
house.
Yeah.
The vibe
It's family.
is the okay, and I don't mean this. Please accept it the way I'm putting it out.
Okay.
The vibe is aggressively Caucasian.
yeah.
To the degree
I
where
won't
I'm just
disagree
like
with you.
there are
My
so-
ancestors built that, I believe.
and their pictures are still framed on the wall.
It's literally called Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
think it says exactly what it means to say.
Uh-huh.
It's like I said what I said.
I don't want to get proposed to anywhere where there's like an old time country store in the front.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm like, I
With
just
bric-a-brac.
feel very uncomfy by this entire like situation. And I love eating at Crack. Like the
Yeah.
food, delicious, but I do not
Do
want to
I
get proposed
still
to.
walk around that store
100%.
like I would buy something and will not?
Oh,
Not that I want to buy.
I
don't
bought my
need
mom
salt taffy.
I bought my mom for Mother's Day once from a Cracker Barrel. I bought her one of those like old timey kerosene lamps that was like porcelain with like painted flowers on the outside. Like we needed a kerosene lamp, but I was just like, oh, it's quaint, you know. But yeah, I don't. Getting proposed to at a Cracker Barrel where you're like just sandwiched between tables of like Bass Pro Shop trucker hats and
Children.
like, John Deere tractor.
Yeah.
It's yes, no. Children, yes, no.
Mine doesn't need much explaining. I just have two words for you, and that is Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
Do you think anyone's ever been proposed to at a Chuck E. Cheese?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone's been proposed
Yeah.
to everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's happened.
Yeah. Somebody worked there, thought it was fun. That's where they met. That was their first date.
Proposed in the ball pit.
Oh.
I mean, somebody else's wedding, I think, is still the worst. Like,
whoa.
Yeah.
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 That is
I mean,
energy.
it did say specifically restaurants. Does Chuck E. Cheese count?
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
a restaurant,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It serves food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
I think during the pandemic, they actually like were selling like
That's right.
Chuck
Their
E. Cheese
pizza.
pizzas.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
Honey, that's not what
Why?
we went there for.
Go to Little Caesars. It's
Honestly.
far better than a Chuck E.
It's
Cheese.
literally the same thing.
Oh, God.
my gosh.
Don't do Little Caesars like that.
hot and ready.
Hot and ready.
I mean, have
$5.
I enjoyed myself a nice hot and ready?
Oh,
Yes.
who among us
exactly.
hasn't?
Who among us?
Yeah.
That's just my
not-
nickname in
not too
high
good.
school.
Wow.
Hot and ready.
Wow. Okay, so we have Cracker Barrel,
Huh?
Damon's Plates with Ribs,
Right.
and Chuck E. Cheese. We have to fuck, marry, kill these three. All right.
Ooh.
Awful.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Cracker Barrel. Ooh. Damon's. A place for ribs. Oh God. And Chuck E. Cheese. Wow.
Look, as a baby vegetarian, this is kind of a difficult situation because looking at it initially,
Place
I
for
would be
ribs?
like, I would marry Damon's A Place for Ribs
They
if this
have
was
salad.
like a year ago.
They're I'm saving them for Cassie. I think Cassie should marry Damon's because they're a big like sports.
Yeah.
And I worked
Oh.
at the one that was on OSU
Oh, dude.
campus
Yeah,
or
been
whatever,
there.
and it was like
I can't
huge
marry any of these
screens. They had trivia nights.
Oh, yeah.
They had
All of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
name it.
You name it. So they're fun.
Yeah. They are fun. So let's break it down. Chuck E. Cheese likes children.
Yeah,
Chuck E. Cheese is good with children.
yeah. It's good with children. It's very accommodating.
Yeah.
You can take kids to Chuck E. Cheese
You
before
don't have to dress up.
No.
You can just
very
be
cash.
yourself.
Mm.
I feel like if you're going to Cracker Barrel, you might be meeting the family.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel's also very family oriented.
Super family
It's
oriented,
pretty
but in
church.
a different way.
It's pretty churchy.
Oh, it's
too.
going to
yeah,
take
like
you to church.
it is. You are going to Cracker.
And
That's
not in
when
that
we
cool
went to
Hoosier
Cracker
way.
Barrel, like after church was
Yes.
the Cracker Barrel place. I gotta be honest. Damon's is the only kind of decent option
like adult.
in terms of
It's really the only adult in the room,
marrying.
yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, they did like trivia nights and stuff
Yeah,
too. So
yeah.
they like sports nights just something
They're-
they can
they're a
do on
strong
their
meat
own.
eater.
Yeah.
They're a
That's
strong
okay.
meat eater.
That's
but
all right. Like as long as Damon is okay with fixing his own wacky ribs,
Ew.
then that's fine. And I can make myself a salad. It's all good.
they had really good salads.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that's good. I mean, yeah, I just
Those
don't think
croutons
that
will break your teeth, though.
I don't think that there's another option here. I can't marry Cracker Barrel.
No.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
But can you?
I feel like
fuck
you should.
Chuck E. Cheese?
Thank you. Thank you. Can you fuck the Cracker Barrel?
Dude. I can. I guarantee. Yeah, Cracker Barrel a freak, dude.
Ooh.
I'm saying
Freak
it.
in the
I'm
sheets.
saying it. They're a freak in the sheets.
They're a deacon at their church, but like if you open the wrong drawer in their
exactly.
closet,
Oh.
you're like, whoa.
Yeah, there's some toys in that bric-a-brac,
Okay.
and I'm saying I'm a fuck Cracker Barrel. That
Okay.
hash brown casserole is enough that I'm like, there's something.
Yeah.
There's something in your heart.
You know about funeral
I mean,
potatoes, don't
I
you?
will say Cracker Barrel is like very comforting. Like they cook with like full fat butter.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like everything
Lard.
about their vibe is like cozy. Cracker Barrel
They have a
isn't going to judge
fireplace.
you for like
No.
gaining 10 pounds.
They want you
Like,
to, actually.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then they're like,
You're-
oh, you gained weight, you're happy.
Yes.
Yes. Like a Cracker Barrel. I will say that about Cracker Barrel. Like, oh man, they might not be a bad option.
They're chill with you, and also I feel like if you like queefed or something like that, like it wouldn't break
No
the
big deal.
vibe. They wouldn't.
They'd be like,
Yeah.
that's hot.
That's hot. Yeah. Ooh, now I'm
They
confused.
like a natural
You said, now I'm confused.
woman. Yeah. You don't have to put anything on for Cracker Barrel. And you honestly, Cracker Barrel has like a really nice, cozy, warm home with like rolling hills.
Yeah.
Maybe you definitely got a couple dogs.
Ooh,
You got a couple cats.
who do I
I
marry
think
now?
that's a marriage.
Yeah. I mean, they
it's a
will
happy-
try to drag you to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's not for me. But I see it for you guys. I see
Yeah,
it for you guys.
I might have to marry Cracker Barrel
Yeah.
and fuck Damon.
yeah, I actually think I
Ooh.
might have to do the same. And
Damon's got this Fast and Furious. I mean, you're getting barbecue
Very.
sauce everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Vin Diesel. It's the Vin Diesel of the restaurants.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not cool enough to be like, anybody
Anything.
bigger, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really kind of Vin Diesel level, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do think like of the two, I would rather hang out with Damon's family. Like, I feel like Cracker Barrel's family is gonna try and like. They're gonna say a lot of like really passive aggressive things to you, you know, like at holidays.
They
about whatever you're wearing.
In fact, they want you to get they want you to gain weight just so they can say something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Cracker Barrel loves you no matter what, but his mom is gonna be a pill. But you only have to deal with them on holidays. So
Yeah.
okay, all right, and yeah, I mean, I gotta kill Chuck E. Cheese. The pizza's not good. That place is a germ fucking factory. I'm not going in there during a Panasonic ever.
No.
And also like I don't have kids, so I'm like this is no. I'm good.
Okay. Animatronic.
Creepy.
No.
Animals.
Don't do it.
I feel the same way about them that I do about black and white cartoons.
Old-timey cartoons.
Where I'm just like, the vibe is not
a chill up the spine.
great. No, yeah, exactly. And
I think I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm fucking marrying Damon's.
Yeah.
It's
the right call for you.
This tracks so hard for me. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We are going to live in a really cool loft. It's going to be like kind of like the big loft, right?
Yeah, exposed brick.
Oh, exposed brick.
Yeah.
Just the hugest TV you've ever seen.
TV ever.
Biggest TV.
Yeah, and I feel like you do have like a pinball machine or something in your loft as well.
Of course we do.
Yeah, lots of lights.
You know what else we have? We have a
foosball table.
And a pool table. Ooh, this is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to get married. Anyway, that's it. I'm so excited.
I love this for you.
I love this for me. I am going to fuck Chuck E. Cheese. And here's why.
Oh, no.
Scandalous. All right,
here's
lay it on
why.
me.
That is a fucking playroom if you've ever heard of one. That is a motherfucking playroom. Listen, and he is
You're
a
not
man-child. He is a man-child.
Yeah.
His mom does his laundry for him. He may even have his own place, but his mom still does his laundry for him. You're not going to marry that guy, but you are going to fuck that guy.
You know what? You're not
wrong.
Okay, if you think about Chuck E. Cheese separate from the restaurant, and who would this person
Chuck?
be?
Who is Chuck?
Right?
He's
Who is
Failure to
Charles
launch
Cheese?
vibes. Who is Charles Cheese?
Charles E. Cheese.
Yeah. Entertainment cheese. I think it's what the E stands for.
Oh, I think you're right.
Oh, stop it. Are you serious?
Yes. So if you do look at it that way, like who among us hasn't fucked a Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh,
like,
we
we
all
all have. Definitely.
Well, because this is the thing. Right here, we just said it.
And
He's
you're-
not a Charles. He is a Chuck. We
Yeah.
all know
Yeah.
a Chuck.
Yeah.
Right? We all know that guy.
Yeah.
And he is definitely, he's playing all the video games.
Yeah.
But he also has a sex swing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you're right, because the Chuck E. Cheeses that we have fucked in our lifetime, we've talked about it on this podcast before. Why are they always so good at
So
fucking?
Yeah.
fucking good at fucking.
Yeah.
Charles E. Cheese might actually be played by Pete Davidson.
Yeah, it's like his bed is never made. You know, it smells like vaguely sweaty in there, but but the sex is gonna be good, and you're like, why?
Well, the sex, you're not going to have it on the bed, so it's going to be against the wall.
yeah.
He's a wall banger for sure.
Oh.
Ugh, the bruising.
Oh, I love a good wall. You can never get it right though. As a tall girl,
Yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It's more of a one leg up, one leg down.
Well, I mean, and also the height. There has to be a certain amount of like you have to be
Symmetry.
similar
Comfort.
in height.
Yeah.
You can't. If you're a me, you can't wall bang a Pete Davidson who's like 6'4". You're like, this is.
I mean, you can.
if it's arm day.
as. Yeah, I mean, you're getting in and out pretty quick then, because like the upper body strength that would take, Pete Davidson does not have. I can tell you that.
yeah, he
right now.
He ain't wall banging.
And neither does Chuck E. Cheese, by the way.
No,
Like,
Charles E. Cheese.
Damon might.
Damon got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damon got arms. And he did not skip leg day either.
The better to eat that full rack, honey.
Oh God!
like,
please don't refer to. No one refer to their pussy as a full rack of ribs.
Oh, I just have a little half rack.
Oh my God!
Extra sauce.
Oh no!
So saucy.
So saucy. Oh my God. Well, Jesus. On that note, you guys want to take a break?
Yes.
We'll be back in 5 minutes with some stories.
And we're back. All right, Cass, you kick us off with stories.
All right. Sounds good. I got my story from Reddit. The title is Most Baffling Reason a Date Went Sour.
Okay.
It's been well over a decade, but I met a girl online. The fact that you can still, it still lives.
Crystal clear memory.
That's a shame
Just-
receipt.
Just fresh as a newborn baby
It happens
in your brain.
all the time
All
to
the
me. Like where I'll be like driving or something or in the shower and then you just have to go,
Yeah.
Like something's traumatic enough to be like, your brain's like core memory.
yeah.
I think this one is just weird enough, right?
Okay.
So it'd been well over a decade, but I met a girl online who was majoring in opera. Message back and forth, very good conversation, moved to texting.
I knew so many people because I knew a lot of people who like majored in opera. And I'm like, there
Why?
can't be jobs for all of you. There cannot be jobs for all of
definitely
you.
I mean, I feel like in every big city, though, there's like an opera house.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough.
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of colleges that have programs.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Feels like there can't be enough.
I get it, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't see where are you all working?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like me, art history, which is really the reason I dropped out of art school in the beginning, because I'm like, who the fuck's going to, I mean, come on, let's get real. But now I'm kind of like, there's so much to be understood about behavior of human people through art history.
Right.
So for me, I'm just like, I really feel like this is
You
something
like
you
to
can
learn.
parlay into a mini careers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
Message back and forth. Very good conversation. Moved to texting. I eventually asked if she'd like to get dinner. She said she'd been hoping I would ask. First off, dinner was great. We'd been talking for weeks at that point, so there wasn't a ton of awkward get to know you talk. We were talking about her background in music, and I mentioned that I was in marching band in college. Mm-hmm. She asked what instrument I played. I played the trombone, I said. For some reason, it was like a switch flipped in that very moment.
Oh no.
She suddenly was almost completely detached from the conversation.
Wow.
Doesn't like trombone players?
She thanked me for dinner at the end of the night, and we went our separate ways. No talk of a second date, no talk of ending things either. I had texted her the next day and said that I had fun. Honestly, just trying to see if there had been any interest in continuing things. To put it bluntly, her texts from that point were extremely mean.
Whoa.
Like unprovoked, very harsh, insults about like most random things. Before the date, communication had been very friendly and often very flirty. After 4 to 5 texts, I said it was obviously clear that we wouldn't be seeing each other again. However, I had to ask point blank if her sudden 180 had anything to do with the fact that I played trombone. The turning point was just too obviously tied to that exact comment at dinner for me to ignore.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I would have to know.
Yeah, me too.
Mama doesn't like mysteries.
No.
Quote, I don't date trombone players.
What?
That
What?
was our
Okay.
final communication of any kind.
No. I'm sorry.
The end.
We can't.
What? No?
I'm going to need you to get back in contact because
Yeah.
I need to know, like,
10 years ago.
one, having weird deal breakers, weird quirks. A lot of people have them. It's not rational. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah,
there's.
listen, I'm going to be a little about bass players for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you had a
But-
bad experience, even though, like, in a lot of bands, like middle school bands, a lot of places don't even really let you pick your instrument.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you get like a top 3 and then they decide because based
Ew.
on what they need. Yeah, so I'm like, first of all,
My school
like,
wasn't big enough to be pulling shit like that. They're like, whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody, it's just one drum line.
Get a killer drum line though.
so like, first of all, like he may not have even made that decision for himself, so it doesn't really speak to like all trombone players are like this. But secondly, like you're being mean about it. Like, why are you so hateful? Like, what happened?
Yeah,
I need
need
to
to
know
know.
what happened because that is like a trauma response.
Right?
Absolutely.
What's going on?
What about like one certain instrument just really got you?
And a trombone.
A trombone.
Like, it's not like we've all been victimized by a guitar. Like,
I know.
sorry.
We all know.
We all have been.
That makes sense.
But a trombone?
But a trombone, very
It's
specific.
very specific.
yeah.
It's not a saxophone. Like they're just like, I hate
it's
jazz.
not even a
like
sexy
it's not even
instrument.
No.
It's not a sexy
No.
instrument, the trombone.
No, but it's also not a flugelhorn or whatever
Right?
that thing is called. Like, well, those
even-
are actually pretty sexy. I
French
think.
horn, like a French horn. Is very-
Yeah, the big tubas.
What?
I think tubas are hot.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I got to be honest. I think a French horn is hotter. If I had to pick, now that's a fuck, marry, kill. What in the
Marching
horns,
band?
Which horn section
which brass instrument do you think is the hottest? I mean, a trumpet for me.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
go French horn.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
You said tuba. I don't know. Is
French
that-
horn takes
I
a
love a
lot of
tuba.
like French horn takes. You got to work at the French
You got
horn.
good
Yeah.
shoulders and everything like that if you're carrying around the tuba. It's
true.
Like a good,
Yeah, you got a
chest.
good upper body.
yeah. It's arm day.
Wow.
Anyways, okay, I got
the
mine
rails.
from Reddit. She says, within 15 minutes of my arrival, he was animatedly telling me a tale about losing his virginity on a rooftop using a Safeway bag as a condom and herbal essences shampoo for lube.
Wait. We don't just
poor
wait.
girl.
Wait. No. Sorry. So, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, it's so nice to meet you too. I'm so glad we got to meet. Let me tell you this story about how I was on a rooftop and I was having sex. This is how I lost my. What? Wait. What?
With a Safeway bag
No.
as a condom.
That's not a
Crinkle,
condom.
crinkle, bitch.
Crinkle.
Fucking herbal essences
No.
shampoo as lube.
Never.
No.
No, honey,
look,
we
that
do not
stings.
put fragrance up there. We do not put. Oh my
Right,
god!
and I realize that I just said poor girl, and I'm not here to assume because we
Poor
actually don't
everything.
know. Poor whoever it was. No one deserves to have a Safeway bag and herbal essences, very abrasive shampoo shoved up any orifice at any time.
I don't like it.
At any time.
It's true. We did make a lot of assumptions there.
Yeah.
I don't want it up my either holes.
Yes.
Anywhere.
No.
Just no, it's so like there is something about, and look, I used herbal essences to this day. I think it smells good, but like it is an aggressive shampoo. Like it is one of those
Yes.
shampoos that like strips
It's squeaky clean.
your hair of like
Your
every
pH will never go back
No.
to normal.
and a safe way, scratchy, like
Desperately scratchy. I think I got pregnant just hearing that story.
oh
Well,
my
she
god,
says my vagina burned just thinking about it.
No.
yeah.
Shortly after that, so we're not done here.
Oh, no.
His 18-year-old fuck buddies roommates showed up.
Wait.
18-year-old fuck buddies, roommates showed up. Okay.
Okay.
Thinking it was a group hang. Sat down at our table and joined us. And now I will say later on she does mention she's in her late 30s.
Whoa.
They're in their late 30s. So now they're on a date and a bunch of 18-year-olds sit down at their table.
No.
After you've just heard the Safeway
No.
and the herbal essence.
You got to
too
get the
old for
fuck
this
out of there.
shit.
This is a barrel full of red flags.
Yeah.
Like,
Aye,
whoa.
aye.
Honey, it's, yeah.
Would you say it's a Cracker Barrel full?
Woo. Exactly.
Sorry.
It was one of those places with big, long group tables pre-COVID. It got pretty awkward once they realized it was actually a date, and I was so stunned I didn't even know how to react. Dude was fully 35 years old.
Oh, my God.
I knew he had to be because I'm just like, if you're using herbal essences, that dates you for sure.
Yeah.
I made my excuses and left quickly. Do they still
Salon
make it?
selectives.
Oh my God. Oof, man. I made my excuses and left quickly. He walked me out and tried to kiss me, but I was luckily fast
You know
enough
too much.
on my feet to dodge.
I know too much, sir.
like Matrix
I
did.
did not. Yeah. Full back bend to get out of that one.
He then proceeded to blow up my phone with texts telling me how I was the most interesting girl he had met in a long time
I
and
bet.
that I left him reinvigorated by the female species.
Oh, don't ever. Please don't use the words reinvigorated.
Also, it's just like,
Around
listen to how many red flags he put in that, because dude face is fucking around with basically
18-year-olds.
children.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
It's children.
Yeah.
And then it's like this weird backhanded compliment of being like, you are so interesting. You're so much interesting than the other girls I know. I'm like, because you're fucking
That is
children.
Yeah, you're dating
honey.
someone who's young enough to like be your
Be
daughter.
your daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's
It's such a red flag and so gross. I didn't respond until a few days later when I was telling the story to my best friend over too many glasses of wine. Ugh, love it.
Love it.
He sent me another text. I replied with something snarky about the whole Safeway bag fiasco, and he replied simply, "Crinkle, crinkle, could have been you."
I have to say, I actually love
Wait,
that.
that comeback.
Hilarious.
I'm
That's actually
sorry.
really funny. That
I'm
get
sorry. Wait.
points where they're due.
Wait.
Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's hilarious.
Crinkle, crinkle. There's just too much of this story. Jesus, man. Oh my God. And also like fully invigorated. I'm like, you're really into that. That isn't that on the herbal essences bottle?
He's all in on the herbal essence. He's got stock. He's like, I'm all in on herbal essence.
my God.
Do you remember
They,
those
like,
herbal
moaned.
essences commercials? They were
They were
overtly
scandalous
sexual.
back in the day.
So sexual. Oh my God.
So funny.
Oh,
Crinkle, crinkle.
Could have been you.
Stop it. Wow. Okay.
I can't recover. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay. So this is a Valentine story. It says, one year, a large box addressed to me was delivered to my office on Valentine's Day. Colleagues gathered round, and as I was new to the company and wanted to make friends, I let them watch me open it. I was seeing a guy at the time who often gave me gifts, so getting something from him wasn't a total surprise. Only it wasn't from him. It was from his mom.
No.
In
Oh
the
my God. Already don't like it.
In the box was a bunch of stuff I'd left at his house. Underwear, cosmetics, and books. And there was a note attached. Nice to have known you. Good luck with your life. Your mom. His mom sent him.
Nice to know ya.
He hadn't messaged me in a while, and I had just assumed he'd been busy. Turns out that meant he'd ended our relationship, and I hadn't realized. It was like a tragic scene from a rom-com. My work colleague standing there staring at my underwear. Mortifying.
Slowly backing away.
Everyone silently went back to their desks, and I never lived it down.
Wow.
Can you imagine? That has to be one of the worst ways I've heard of being broken up with.
Whoa.
I've heard of a lot of bad ways. To your job
On Valentine's Day.
on Valentine's Day.
From not even you.
No.
Your
from
mom.
your mother.
We got to be honest here. We have to break this down real
Yeah.
quickly, which
Yeah.
is that dodged a fucking bullet here.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because that could have been your life.
Yeah,
obviously
mommy-
he's
mommy stepping
conflict avoided.
Oy.
Like they
To
just
the
hadn't
nth
talked
degree.
for a while, and so she's thinking they haven't talked in a while, and he's like, "Mom, pack up, Linda's stuff. I'm done dating her, or whatever." It's
And
just like
sends it to
obviously
your
he doesn't.
job.
It's so thoughtless.
Like, you've been to his house clearly enough
And mom's
times.
like, bye, bitch. And
Yeah.
you're like, you know what? Bye.
yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
but you've been to his place enough times that you have stuff over
there's
there.
stuff.
Surely he's been to your place. He sent this stuff to your office.
Work.
Like, I feel like it's so on Valentine's Day.
Woof.
So
And he didn't send it. Mom did.
and mom, I'm like, are you a sociopath? Because
Yeah.
like that had to be
Yes.
calculated to wait till Valentine's
To
Day to
say
send
what-
a package when you know people are expecting to get things.
And nice to know
That's
you.
so mean.
It's so mean. And all of your work colleagues, the embarrassment
Oh,
of being
New-
broken
new
up
work.
with in public that way.
I want to see the TikTok. on
Oh,
the unboxing.
Oops.
Oh,
did mom clean the underwear though? Did she launder them
No.
first?
oh my God.
Ugh. Gross. Fucking disgusting. Ugh. Anyway, are you guys ready for this little tale?
I am. Yes.
Absolutely.
I can't fucking
Are
wait.
you ready? Because I'm not sure.
I cannot fucking wait to tell you this story. I don't think you guys have heard this. I got most of my information from articles from a newspaper in New Zealand Australia called The Age, ABC News Australia, Daily Record, and there was a case file episode. It's case file episode number 7. So that's where I got a lot of this information from. Anyway, I'm going to tell you this lovely little tale. It's March 4th, 2008. young couple, Julian Buchwald, he's 22, and Carolyn Watson leave to have a picnic on Julian's family property at a waterfall near their family home near Budgery in Australia. Okay. So Julian, just a little backstory about him. He's born in Germany. He was born in Germany. His parents had been living, I guess, in Australia for a while, but they had gone back for a short period while I guess his mom was pregnant. They went ahead and had the baby there and then ended up moving back to Australia. But technically, he is a German citizen. So doesn't have a whole lot to do with it at this point anyway, but just kind of a little backstory of who he was and how he grew up. His family owned a nice big property with lots of land. And on that land, there was actually this really nice little area where they were going to go for the picnic, which had a waterfall. And it's just this beautiful little,
That's a good place to propose.
It's a great place
There
to
you go.
propose.
Exactly. We're not talking about like money or anything like that, but that would be a lovely place, like setting up a like picnic with cheese and little
In
snacks.
fact, our
and
friend just got engaged in a similar situation.
Yeah.
They were traveling and they went to
Love
like an area in the island near a waterfall and he proposed
that's
there.
perfect.
Without a ton of people staring and gawking.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Carolyn, his girlfriend, she is 17 years old. He's 22. They'd been dating for a couple years. So 17 and 22 doesn't sound gross until you say 20 and 15. That's disgusting.
Ooh.
Don't love that.
I mean, what year is this though?
2008.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're like 1942.
Yeah,
or
I'm like,
what?
are we in the 40s, the 70s?
Yeah. Nope.
2008, 20 and 15. I don't
Yeah.
love.
I was getting ready to graduate high school. Yeah. No.
Don't love that.
That's not good.
Yeah. Don't love it, but they actually met each other from the church. They'd been dating for a couple years and they had a pretty strict religious upbringing. So they were literally just barely making it 2 years into the hand-holding phase of their relationship.
Right.
So this is like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it's very, 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 very innocent.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a very, youth. Both of them still live with their families.
So it doesn't feel, even though like
it's icky, but
it doesn't feel as exploitative because it's not
That's
like, okay.
it's
all
not
right.
sexual really at this,
I mean, anyway, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Again, both deeply devout. They had they had taken this kind of oath of celibacy. So that was the whole goal. The reason, that they hadn't is because they had taken an oath of celibacy. They were not going to have sex until they were married. And they had plans to get married late at the end of the year because once she turned 18 in Australia, you can't get married until you're 18. Seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I support it.
Strong support on that. And so, was what it was, but they still spent plenty of time together. Apparently their parents had no worries about that because it seemed like they were pretty clean cut kids. Again, super into their, religion and,
purity culture was at full steam ahead in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Like that
Peak.
was like, peak
purity.
popular culture, purity culture. Yeah.
So when Julian picks up Carolyn around 9 a.m., they have plans to return around 3 p.m. Nobody thinks twice about it, right? Well, 3 p.m. comes and the kids haven't returned yet. And I'm going to call them kids because I feel like kids makes the most sense because even though he's like 22, it seems...
Sure.
Yeah, they're both kids. The kids hadn't returned yet. Julian's mom is starting to worry. She's like, this is really, really out of character for them. They are not late to return home, especially when they've told people. So she's kind of having one of those like pace up and down the driveway moments. It's on this little journey down the driveway that she notices a bottle that has been placed into their wire fence. Inside the bottle is a note.
Oh, ominous.
Very ominous. In the note, it is a aggressively threatening note that's basically like, if you don't do what we say, we're going to murder your children. They're not going to be returned home. Do what I say. Don't shit us around, basically. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's actually awfully written and I'll give you the gist.
Yeah.
But basically they're like, do what we say. And on the note, there's this symbol and it actually matches a symbol of a note that they had gotten not that long ago either that was very threatening.
If you ever want to scare the shit out of somebody, come up with some like weird obscure symbol to put at the end of all of your letters.
Well,
like
it's like that one house that keeps
Yes.
getting the letter and no
Yes.
one knows.
What?
No one knows. it's terrifying.
That story, and there actually is a very short case file on it. It's seriously like 20 minutes because there's not a lot of information, but you can Google this house, and it's The Watcher. That's what it's called.
The Watcher.
Where
I love that.
people have moved into this house in the neighborhood, and they start receiving letters to the house that's signed.
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, signed
Yes.
The Watcher.
Don't
where
love
they're
it.
just like, and at first they were like, oh, it's somebody playing a prank, but then they would get into details about their children.
I don't like
and
it.
Like,
Yeah.
Honey,
what they can see happening.
somebody's living in the walls.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and they
It's
still
so
to this
scary.
day don't know.
They have
who
no
it was.
idea, and they've tried to like set up stings and figure it out, but like
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's one of the. It's terrifying, but yeah, the symbol reminds me of Yellow Jackets because I'm like, come up with some weird, creepy fucking
Totally.
symbol. Just make something up. Put a bunch of geometric like
shapes
together.
Well,
And,
this
my God.
isn't just a made up shape. This is actually a very specific shape, a shape that it belongs to a satanic cult called ONA, which is the Order of Nine Angles. Not angels, angles. I
Okay.
also thought angels was going to be weird too. That's what I expected.
Right.
But no, this is a
it's
satanic cult that was
a
at the-
math centered cult.
That's right.
Yeah.
What? Kind of. Yeah.
Oh,
like kind of. Yeah.
Did I
Like,
tell you
joke.
guys about the guy I went out on a date with that tried to get me into geometric circls? Some geometric
Oh,
circles
the sacred
called
geometry?
Sacred geometry.
Oh, no.
No.
No. He listened to like the Tanis one time that was like,
I was like,
No. Thank you. This is a pretty well-known cult, but it was mostly based out of Europe. They celebrate like the first day of the year on Adolf Hitler's birthday. It's like some real
super
fucked up
hot.
shit. Yeah.
yeah.
And their cult has been known to do human sacrifices. So they're like, holy shit. First of all, we didn't know that ONA had set up shop in Australia. We have no prior knowing. I mean, they know ONA, but they don't know of them being an Australian. So they're like, shit, are they fucking here now? And this is what they want to do is like come in hot and like set up shop and be like, we're here and we're going to, take these two children of God, pure children.
I'm skeptical. Someone went on Al Gore's internet. I'm going to call it right now. And it's like,
I mean,
shady shit
It feels very
afoot.
satanic panic,
I'm
right?
very skeptical of anything that's like,
Oh, especially when you
know.
have super religious people involved, right?
Right.
So the cops are like, oh, we have to take this seriously because we do have
Yeah.
2 threatening letters. These children are gone. They're not around. We don't know what happened to them. So they're doing like extensive searches in the bush around the family's home, around the family's property, spreading out. They cannot be found anywhere. They haven't found the car. They haven't found either of them, Julian or Carolyn. So they're just like, they're in a panic. They're like, what do we do? So they, start talking.
As a parent, I mean,
Oh,
I think
God.
I've said it before, but I'm not a parent, but I cannot fucking imagine the panic of like expecting your child home.
Well, they so quickly were like, well, they went from like this being like missing persons to possibly body recovery, like very quickly. Because first of all, it's the fucking outback. We're talking about the bush.
Like
Dangerous
dingoes
anyway.
and
They're
shit.
very dangerous.
Yeah,
You're talking
spiders the size
Thank
of
you.
dinner plates.
That's what they're saying. They're like spiders. You're talking, snakes, all kinds of things. The bush is out to get you. The bush is out to get you.
Yeah.
The bush itself, not any human.
Right.
is
You
out
have
to
a
get you.
Jumanji situation
That's right.
in the bush where it's just like it comes alive.
Yeah.
It is after your ass.
It's
yeah.
coming for you. So again, the family are just at a loss. The police are at a loss. The police actually interview the preacher at the church, and they're like, he's like, what do you make of this? Like, what do you think about this cult? And the preacher's like, there's no fucking cult. He's like, the preacher's like, no, it's not that. These kids wanted to get married. They probably just ran off together. So
wow,
the preacher,
surprisingly even
pastor's
keeled
just like,
of the preacher. He's like, listen,
He's
everybody
like-
needs to calm the fuck down.
Right.
pastor's like, yeah, it's probably to just ran off to get married. And they were like, okay, well, it could be. But then they're like, but they packed nothing. They didn't pack any clothing. They didn't pack, except for just like their day away, probably like a spare piece of clothes, and they didn't pack anything extra for food. Nobody took out any money.
But they've been
It's
together
literally
for
just-
so long.
Yeah.
Like and she's 17. She's gonna turn 18 soon.
So
I
soon.
feel like they would just wait it out until they could get married. Like nobody was really standing in their way unless they just wanted to bone really bad. You know?
Been there.
They were like we
You're
gotta
like,
get
I've also
married
been 17
today.
So anyway, police are just baffled. They're, no leads. And it's not until 7 days later that they make it out of the bush and flag down a
Whoa.
farmer on the side of the road.
7 days in the bush.
Yes.
Whoa.
Wow.
So the police are like, that's now the name of this episode.
Oh my God.
7 days in the bush.
Christina.
I'm sorry.
I was like,
My
what is she
mind-
laughing about? Oh.
That's the title of my porno. 7 days in the bush.
I guarantee you there's an Australian porno by that name.
There better
Probably
be.
from the 80s. VHS tape. If anyone finds it,
Oh
please
my
let us
God.
know.
Please, yes. Message us.
7
Crocodile
days in the
Dundee
bush.
parody.
Oh God. Soon after they had left, the police are like, okay, well, I guess you're both alive. We thought for sure you were dead.
They're like, check one. Great.
What the
Also-
fuck happened?
WTF.
Yes,
Exactly.
what the fuck happened? So they pulled them into the police station and have separate conversations with each of them and quickly learn the story of what happened. They had been on their way to the picnic and were driving on Julian's property when he had spotted a dead animal carcass on the side of the road. So he pulls up ahead, pulls over, and heads back to look at this dead carcass because, that's what you do. Please tell me why.
I don't know why
But
you would do that.
Apparently, she didn't think anything of it because this is something that he just does.
What?
Yeah.
He just looks at dead
I'm
animals.
sorry, that's weird.
That feels weird.
Because if it was in the middle of the street, I'd be like, yeah, you stop, move it off
Maybe,
the road, like whatever. If you're living in a rural community, like that happens. But I'm like, if it's already pulled off to the side of the road, like coming from a place where there's a lot of roadkill,
We got shit to do today.
why would you?
Yeah.
Just keep going. Not a big deal. But he pulls over and she's waiting and waiting in the car. And then suddenly she's like, God, I feel like he's been gone for a while. Next thing she knows, the door fucking flies open. Some guy in a balaclava mask.
Nope.
Balaclava. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mask. Rips her out, handcuffs her and hog ties her, throws her into the back of the car. And they just take off.
Nightmare.
She has been blindfolded and her mouth is covered. And they have been kidnapped. And they are in the car for 5 to 6 hours. She had no clue what's happening. She doesn't know what's happened to Julian. She doesn't even know if he's alive or dead. She doesn't know anything. So they arrive.
All right, Mr. Buchenwald.
Oh no.
It's not Buchenwald.
It's not
It's just Buchwald.
Buchwald. I thought that I was like, when you said his name at the beginning, I thought it was Buchwald. I was like, well, there's your first clue right there.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
awful.
no.
Yeah, that's not good. It's just Buchwald. It's
Buchwald.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Buchwald.
Okay.
So
Well, Mr. Buchwald, I still think it's you. I'm calling it. I don't know this story. I'm gonna say 22-year-old is shady.
well, next thing she knows, whoever this person is rips her out of the car, cuts off all of her clothes. So now she's naked,
This
eyes
is a
covered,
nightmare.
mouth covered, and just doesn't know what's going on, is sitting in the dirt. It's starting to get late, and it's nothing but like scary, outbacky shit right now, right?
It's so scary.
That's the most
next
terrifying
she
thing I've ever
knows,
heard.
She hears Julian. He's like whispering, like for her voice. She's like, Carolyn. And she's like, oh my God, he has also been tied up and has now escaped his bindings and found her and is now coming to rescue her. He also doesn't have any clothes on. All of his clothes are gone. So they are just naked in the wilderness and don't know where they are. And the kidnapper isn't anywhere to be seen. So they're like, we have to figure out a way to get out of there. So they start to head toward any type of civilization get out of where they're at.
Right.
They come across a backpack, which happens to be their backpack, which happens to have some of their leftover clothes in it. But it is fucking cold. I mean, you're talking at night, it gets freezing cold. And in the daytime, it's blistering hot.
Oh my goodness.
That place is
Extreme
designed
temperatures.
to kill you.
That's what I'm saying.
Truly. Yeah.
So they avoid any main paths because they don't want to accidentally run into this kidnapper. But during the trip, they're just like, it's so cold at night. He's like, we really should have sex. I know we're going to get married anyway. We should have sex so that we can stay warm.
Oh, motherfucker. I'm so mad.
I'm so sorry. But purity culture really fucked us up in the worst way. Like, as somebody...
You are going to plant kidnapping, ransom notes. You are doing all of the things just to get your fucking Safeway bag up in there.
Crinkle.
Could have been you.
March of 2008, I was wearing a purity ring at this time. Like, I understand. Like, I get it. That culture put so much shame around having sex that people did come, not to this extent. People did come up with like very extreme like ways to rationalize having sex or like doing whatever, or to like try to remove that shame component from sex. Yeah, it really fucked up so many.
I would feel so disappointed in the rest of my story if this was all I had to tell you, but it's not.
Oh no. Oh no.
So they do find out. You're exactly right, you guys.
Thank God, because we would
it
be
out.
Monsters.
You did. You figured it out. It was him the whole time. He really wanted to consummate the relationship and thought that he could convince her that this was the way to do it. They were going to get married anyway.
I love that the pastor was like, yeah, you know that the pastor was like, what I fucking say. Like,
yeah.
He's like, nah, I told you they wanted to fuck. I told you. So he is arrested and he is charged with kidnapping, abducting with intent. The abducting was intent to marry.
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
faking
that cannot be a legal term.
Faking a falsifying police report. I mean, there was quite a few.
I'm surprised they didn't hit him with statutory.
Well, yeah, I don't know what that looks like in
I don't
Australia.
Either.
Australia.
Yeah,
I don't know. And she was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that
but
meant...
consent was under
Sure. Right. Without consent. So that is part of it too. Charged with the kidnapping. So there's a lot of charges here, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Poor decisions just don't end there though, guys. He is out on like bail, basically, and he decides...
No.
He decides that he is going to... get the fuck out of Dodge. He's like, no, I must escape. And his
Germany, he's like,
his escape plan is eventually Germany, but he steals an Indian passport and gets a one-way ticket and brown skins himself.
No,
a German man.
No,
with colors his hair dark, fakes. Like puts a fake picture on the passport, an Indian passport that he
went and
stole,
got some self tanner.
He stole, and makes his way to India via Singapore. Well, he makes it to Singapore, makes it to India, but at India they're like, "Wait, you don't speak the
they're
language."
Looking at him like this feels wrong.
So wait, you are a white man though.
They're like,
why
we can see you?
We can see you.
Like literally, we have eyes.
I know that you're not Indian. And so they were like, absolutely not on my watch. And they sent him back to Singapore.
Ooh.
They were like, you can't stay here. You don't
have to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of India.
We don't know who you is, but you ain't here.
Yeah.
So they sent him back to Singapore. And this is, of course, where Australia meets up with him. And they're like, yeah, no, sir. You cannot brown face your way out of this.
Wow.
So
this guy, we talked on the podcast before about playing the game Consequences.
Yeah,
He is taking it a whole nother level. He's like, what if I got self-tanner and
a box of blue black dye from CVS?
First of all, if you aren't Indian, don't go to India.
What are you doing?
Fucking Germany. You could be a pretend person going to Germany.
Yeah.
Go anywhere else. Don't go to the place where
He's
you
like- he's
clearly
like,
don't know the language.
He's like, no, Cassie, they'll look for me in Germany. Use your head. Come on.
But I mean,
Be
that was
smart
his
about
plan,
it.
though. But he was going to go to Germany via
Anyways,
India.
yeah.
But like, why? Just
I
because he had an
don't
Indian
know.
passport? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This whole thing is
Anyway.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, why? Why would you come up with this kind of elaborate plan just to have sex? There has to be another way.
There are like 50 other ways. If they had dated for a really long time and stuff like that, I'm sure they would have, gotten around to it. Or he could have just like asked her. Girls are horny too. You know what I mean? Like there's a million different things. Rather than like, oh my God. And then
to survive the bush.
Almost
we are
anything
going
would
to
have been
need
better.
to have
Almost
sex.
my heart is breaking for that poor girl.
Yeah.
I know.
Because that's like her first time.
And her first love.
Oh, her first love, and that was her first time.
they didn't
was
do
this
it.
Fucking
He didn't do it.
and
For no, she didn't. She was like, no, thank you. No, thank
Wow.
you. Good for her.
Good for her.
Good
Oh,
for
I'm glad
her.
that wasn't her first time.
No, it wasn't. Oh no, thank God. That
But
would have
still
been an
your
awful
first love.
story.
Like this is the person that you think you're gonna marry, and like
to go that extreme.
and you've been together since you're 15, and like that's a big deal. And like to be deceived on that level.
Silver lining, they did not get married.
Thank
so-
God.
Yeah, silver lining. They did not get married. That she did not lose her virginity that way.
Yeah.
Something that
Oh,
she clearly
God,
held
thank
so
God.
so precious. He did get out of jail in 2014, and Australia was like, "Yeah, you know what? You actually aren't a citizen here, so goodbye." They kicked his ass out to Germany, and he's like, "I literally don't know anyone in Germany except for really distant relatives. I don't speak the language, and I'm not German."
Sounds like you didn't think this through.
And he was, but they were like, "Sorry about you."
All shoulders. Yeah.
Bye. So he was deported to Germany. That was the last we know.
He didn't go to jail or anything.
Oh
Like,
no! He did, after he went to jail.
Oh,
after
okay,
he
okay.
served
But
time.
he still
Once
only
he got out of
did
jail.
like 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like,
Basically.
or no, less than that. 6. I can math.
yeah.
I just
Wow.
wow. I mean, like that is you
But
really
did you
didn't think that
die?
through.
That's what the prisons are saying. They're like,
That is wild.
That is so wild.
can you imagine?
no. As someone who was a
somebody-
horny teenager
And grew up
who-
in purity culture.
with a purity ring, I can safely say not a once did I think that would be the right course of action. Like literally,
but they would have had to just to stay alive.
he could have just
She was like, "No thanks. I'd rather
no,
die."
thank you, please. Yeah, they could have just waited a few months, gotten married if that was
Right.
always the plan. Or look, she felt very strongly about like her faith and her morals. If you're not aligned with those, I'm sure there's someone else who will have sex with you. You can end this relationship.
Right.
Like I don't.
If it's
what are you
that
doing?
important that you are trying to like Jason Bourne your way into the pussy.
Yeah.
Jason born your way to pussy.
I mean, honestly, he like through this whole scenario. Do you imagine how much brain power he's like had to look up a European satanic cult, right? A couple like there's so much
Yeah,
buy a
premeditated.
balaclava.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
In Australia.
Be willing to almost freeze to death yourself in the outback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like what?
No.
What?
No.
No.
And by the way, that's not what turns women on.
No.
Being in a situation where they think that they're unsafe.
Yeah.
No.
That's scared for their actual lives and think that some kidnapper might come back out to get them.
Horrible.
Guess what I'm not in the mood for?
At
no,
all.
not in the mood.
At all.
Not even if I wasn't in purity culture. Not in the mood.
No, you think that somebody is after you. You think I'm going to stop to
Bone you?
No.
No. Not even a little bit.
No.
No.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I'd never heard that one before. That's something.
It was actually very hard to find information about. And literally, short of that one case file that I heard, I didn't see it anywhere. And like the articles, I had to like literally go in and be like news articles, and they go into the news like actual archives to like try to find past stories. It was wild.
That is.
I can't believe I hadn't heard of it though.
I mean, surely I've listened to that case file because I think I'm completely caught up on
It's
that
number
podcast.
7.
But
That's
it's
how
number
far away.
7. So
Wow.
I must have listened to it years ago.
Right.
And I did not remember anything about that. That's whoa.
yeah.
A journey, right?
It was a journey. I hope that young woman is doing well.
Yeah. Shout out to her. That's
Hope
really
she's okay. Oh my gosh.
What are you guys watching this week?
Well, I finally went and saw Scream in the theaters.
Was it good?
Oh my God. I love that franchise.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of my favorite like horror anthologies.
It's fun.
It's because it's fun. I mean, that's
Right.
the thing. Like, the movie, sure, we could have notes.
Nev
right?
Campbell is an amazing scream queen.
Oh my
I gotta
God.
say.
Yes.
She's
the
a good.
ultimate final girl, right? Like, she's just so great. I really enjoyed it. Like, yeah, listen, Scream is not for everybody. There's
Yeah.
like a campiness and like a silliness to the Scream franchise that like some people really just don't dig, but I like it. And like, I really enjoy that part of it, that like, yeah, it's not hyper realistic. It's it's a little bit silly. But I really thought that it stuck pretty true to the series. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. If you like the Scream franchise and you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. This is actually the first Scream movie that I actually saw in thetheaters. I've not seen any of the other ones in theaters. So that was very, very fun for me. And then I also have started watching After Party.
Yeah.
Which is
fun.
It's very
really
fun.
good.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of like a little campy, silly, but fun.
It really does feel like almost the same vein.
Yeah,
like
like similar
campy
vibe.
and-
Like
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
kind of like
The cast.
Tiffany Haddish is every episode I'm like,
I love her.
I love her. Like,
Yeah.
she's
Yes.
so good in it. Yeah.
She's my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
for
same.
sure.
Mhm.
For sure. I have been watching. We finished Reacher, like I told you guys last week. Honestly, it's just been, I'm so heavy in my homework. I've had a really heavy homework week, but when I haven't been, and just like, it's been 3 minutes of something from ancient history, tombs and stuff, and immediately asleep.
Yeah.
that's been my week.
Brilliant.
So nothing exciting, unfortunately.
I actually started watching a show I'm pretty into right now. I wouldn't say I love it. I'm enjoying it. Raised by Wolves.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's also on HBO Max or.
I forget which one.
Chris
it's on.
watched it. He said it was really good.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good sci-fi. It's like an alien Lost.
Yeah, my brother really liked the first season. He watched the first season and he liked it.
I'm only 7 episodes in so far, and it's setting things up. Why I say it's like Lost is there's like lots of questions and like weird stuff where you're like, wait, are you going to answer that? And then I'm like, I've got that feeling in the pit of my stomach because I'm like, fool me once, shame on. Like, I don't want to get into another Lost situation where I'm like, writers just writing things that are like, this would be cool if this happens, and then does not pay off. But so far, it's really good, and I like it.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, hey, if you guys have stuff we should watch and or read, if you have bad date stories, if you want to just reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.